What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Celtic Clydesdale show. I'm Jim and I am the Celtic Clydesdale. Today's episode is going to be a revisit of a review on a pair of shoes that's pretty recent, actually. The pair of shoes is going to be the On Cloudflow, as the title told you. And this is a 75-mile review. I've got 75 miles on the shoes now, and I think I've got a little bit better idea of what these shoes are like. So, little disclaimer, like I said in the last video about these shoes were technically given to me by On Running. However, On Running has no influence over the opinions that I'm about to share about these shoes. All right, so let's just get into it. All right, so the On Running Cloudflow. This is the shoe still. Like I said in my intro, we got 75 miles on these things already, and to be honest with you, the longest run on them is a 14 miler, and I actually just did a half marathon on them today. So yeah, these are the shoes. Like I said in the last video about these shoes, you can get these from On Running directly. You can get them at Zappos. You can get them at, what is it, Runner's Warehouse. I always get that one messed up, but you can get them there. And I'm pretty sure you can find them on Amazon. So, and wherever you get them, they're going to be about $140. All right. So let's go on, discuss my likes, dislikes, and we'll talk some final thoughts, and we'll determine if these shoes are actually worth $140. All right, the things I like about the shoes. Now that I've got some more ride time on them, I can say that I like the fact that they're a pretty decent lightweight shoe. All right, they are much lighter than, say, like the On Running Cloud Stratus. They're lighter than, some of the ASICS shoes I've worn. They're lighter than my Gel Contends. They're lighter than the Gel Nimbuses and the Gel Cumuluses, and they feel lighter than the Brooks Ghosts and previous shoes I've just mentioned. Of course, other than what I showed you in the last video with, the actual weights of the Cloud Stratus versus the Cloudflow, I don't have any empirical data, but going strictly by feel of the bunch, those are these Cloudflows are definitely the lightest of the group. And to a certain extent, I kind of like that. All right. It's actually new for me to be running in a lighter shoe. And to be honest with it, I kind of like it. It's actually pretty decent. All right. Now, along with that lightweight comes a speedy ride. These shoes are, I think, pretty good for doing speed work, or if you're out on, a run where your focus is to just blast it. These shoes, they'll hang in there. All right. And they're pretty good for that kind of running. And, for that, I kind of like these shoes. All right. I think they do well. And if that's what you're into, these might be decent shoes for that, for you to pick. So yeah, the footbed, even after the 75 miles that I've put on them, the footbed still feels pretty nice. I like it. Again, these aren't really cushioned shoes. I mean, of course they have some cushioning, but they're not that cushioned. All right, definitely nowhere near the cushioning that you would see in like a Brooks Ghost or, Gel Contend, or not. Well, actually, they don't even have the same cushioning as a Gel Contend, and or the Gel Cumulus or the Gel Nimbus. All right, and they don't have the same cushioning as the other On Running shoe, the Cloud Stratus. All right, so if you're after cushioning, not the shoe. For what they are, I think they're pretty decent, and given the fact that they're not a heavily cushioned shoe, the footbed is really nice. I like it. The other thing, the upper on this, it's really grown on me. I really like the upper for this shoe. It's a nice fitting upper, and I'll be honest with you, after 75 miles, I mean, unlike with, like I've showed for the Cloud Stratus, I'm not getting any sort of wear and tear on the upper itself. So that's, that's excellent. Now, if you look at these, you'll see that, I mean, they're getting a little salty from me sweating on them, but you can't keep that from happening unless you change my biomechanics. But anyway, the upper on these holding up nice. I still like the nice footbed, nice toe box, and man, pretty decent shoes from about here up, to be honest with you. So the other thing, I didn't talk about this before, but if you look right there on the tongue, you got a little strappy thing that goes across the tongue. And I'm one of those people, I read somewhere about a little tip for keeping your shoes from coming untied when you're running, particularly on long events. And it basically said, tuck your laces in. And, once you get your shoe laced is, nice and snug where it feels nice and comfortable, and it's not going to be digging into your foot after about 12, 13 miles or whatever, typically you got to push your laces down in there, because I started using it, and to be honest with you, I've never had a shoe come untied since I have, but it's a fight to tuck your laces down in there. And we found out with this little strappy thing, you just tuck your laces up under there and stay put. They don't come untied. It's excellent. So I like that about them. So yeah, to be completely honest with you, I know it's early to pass any real judgment on these, but literally from here up, I really like these shoes. So let's go ahead and talk about the things I dislike. Dislikes. All right. I got one huge dislike about these, and to be honest with you, I really think it's becoming a common problem with on running shoes. All right. Longevity. If you remember my review of the On Cloud Stratus, which if you check the right there, click on the link, you learn about it. And then I'll also leave a link to it at the end of this video so that you can go watch that. But after not a whole lot of mileage on those shoes, the upper started having some issues where, like back here at the top of the heel, the fabric was tearing, where the upper meets with the tongue right here was starting to tear. And the Cloud Stratus has a $170 price tag, and I'm I'll be honest with you folks, I'm a cheapskate. I really am. I don't like things that cost $170 falling apart really early. It's just bad. But unfortunately, what I'm seeing after only 75 miles with this Cloudflow is right there. Right there. I'll put a better picture of it here. And I mean, the pictures don't lie. A lot of wear and tear. I'm not fond of it. So yeah, wear and tear. It's not going well for these shoes. It's a premium shoe with 75 miles on it. Not liking that fact that I'm seeing this happen. All right. I'll take some blame for it. I can't expect every shoe to, any shoe to not wear out like this, but that much with only 75 miles, come on, no good. So that said, let's go ahead and talk about my final thoughts. All right, final thoughts on these shoes. Well, I'll be honest with you. I'll talk them up a little bit first off. They're a nice speedy shoe if you're doing shorter races as a heavier runner. All right. They're actually, I think these would be good shoes for short races for any runner, to be honest with you. I honestly think that had I not beaten these up like I have, or running them as much as I have, doing the mileage as I have, because honestly, I've been trying to train up for a marathon. Unfortunately, a marathon's not going to happen for some medical reasons, but I don't want to get into those here. These shoes, I think if it weren't for the whole pandemic thing and we were able to race and I could get in some 5K races or get in some, sprint distance triathlons, this would probably be my shoe of choice for those. All right. Cause like I said, nice speedy ride, comfortable footbed, and they're pretty decent in the shorter mileages. And, from that viewpoint, yeah, I'll give them a thumbs up. I like them from that. But, now for longer distances, particularly for heavier runners, keep that in mind. Probably not a good shoe. I know personally, I think I've done a 14 miler on those. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the first run I did on these out of the box was a 14 miler. And by the time I was at like 12, 13 miles, honestly, I kind of wanted them off my feet, And then today even, I did a half marathon in them, and probably 11 and a half, 12 miles. I wanted them off my feet. So from that viewpoint, I gotta say, these are not well suited for a heavier runner for longer distances runs. And I'm pretty sure I said the same thing in my last video about them. They're just, I don't know what it is. I think the lack of cushioning, which honestly I intended to go with, is just taking a bigger beating or taking a bigger toll on me than I thought it would. So unless you're used to shoes that have a lower cushioning level, these are probably not a good idea for a heavier runner at longer distances. Shorter distances, they're great. All right. So now the sole wear, no, I don't like it at all. For the cost of these shoes and, with On Running trying to give their whole line, a huge push and to hype them up, these fail. All right. That should not be happening at 75 miles. If it were happening at 125, 150 miles, can almost be a little bit more accepting of it, but at 75 miles, and to be honest with you, I started seeing that at like 30 miles. All right. It's not good. It's bad. It's just bad. I don't like it. And that is probably the number one reason why I would not recommend these shoes unless you get a really good deal on them. All right. So I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, unless you get a really good deal on them and you're only going to be running, 5Ks, maybe a 10K, just avoid these. All right. You can get, if your budget is $140, you can get a pair of gel Nimbuses and they won't wear out like that in a short amount of time. All right. So yeah, big thumbs down for these shoes based almost solely on that. And the fact that honestly, they're not really suited for heavier runners to begin with that are doing longer distances. All right. So let's go ahead and close it out. All right. If you liked anything that I said about these not so nifty On Running Cloudflows, give me that thumbs up. If it turns out that you're a really big fan of On Running Cloudflows or you just didn't like the video, go ahead and give me the thumbs down. I can take it. It happens. Also, if you're new to the channel or you just haven't done so yet, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button. All right. And if you want to be notified when I upload videos on Wednesdays, ring the bell. All right. So, yep, down in the show notes, just like before, I've still got my cash tag that you can use, cash tag CelticClydesdale, to, you know, if you so desire, support the channel financially through the Cash App. Also, I've still got the link down below for my fundraiser to the FC Cancer Foundation. If you'd like to support that, I would definitely appreciate it. I still have my thing going on. You got 10 days left, by the way, that if I hit my $500 goal by Veterans Day here in the United States, that's November 11th, I'll dye the thick portion of my beard right here to match the Irish flag. If I exceed that by $50 or more, I'll dye my whole beard. Please help me get there. The wife, she's looking forward to dyeing my beard. So, don't you want my wife to be happy? Anyway, yeah, that's that. Next week, I want to surprise you again with what we're doing. In fact, I think that's going to be the goal moving forward, because I think it's more fun that way. So please get down in the comments, interact with me. I love that. But until next week, keep on keeping on.